Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to another episode here on Gladiator Disc Golf. Today's episode is the final installment for the Gladiator Disc Golf subscriber bag sponsored by OTB Discs. I'm super excited to share the distance drivers with you. In our understable category, we have the Discraft Hades. In our neutral category, we have the Innova Wraith. And in our overstable category, we have the Innova Destroyer. These three discs are all unique and very, very good flyers. A lot of people throw these, some of the most popular molds in all of disc golf. So without further ado, let's see how they fly. So after throwing each of these discs a handful of times on hole one there, I was able to really get a good feeling for each of these discs. I don't personally throw a whole lot of distance drivers, so messing with these discs definitely put me outside my comfort zone. I'm not afraid to say I don't have an 11, 12, 13 arm speed, and so whether backhand or forehand, and so it's just one of those things where I wasn't able to get the full flight characteristics necessarily, but I was able to manipulate the disc to get some pretty good distance. After throwing all three of them several times, I found one really stood out to me as what I would consider my go-to, but I bet it's probably not what you're thinking. But first, let's go ahead and let's talk about each disc. So the Discraft Hades, I really had a hard time dialing in and throwing. I didn't want to sit here and just throw it 150 times because I don't have that kind of time, and you guys don't want to see me throw it 150 times. But I will say, it is true to the numbers. It is very flippy. The Discraft Hades is 12, 6, minus 3, 2, and it definitely has that minus 3 turn. It is super understable, which means it's great for beginners. So if you're trying to get into the distance driver field, I definitely recommend the Discraft Hades. It fills the slot perfectly. It is everything you want an understable distance driver to be. It will turn pretty much regardless of your power, and it's not going to have too much fade that it makes it really hard to control. For those who have a little bit more power, it's going to take some time getting used to the Hades. It is very, very touchy. It is susceptible to nose angle because you have to throw with such hyzer that it kind of makes it easy to pop the nose up a little bit, especially on the forehand. Overall, this disc is perfect for this slot. It does everything you want the understable distance driver to do. You just may have to get really comfortable with it and learn it. The next disc is the neutral distance driver, and we have the Innova Wraith. This disc was way better than I was expecting. I was a little nervous between this and the Destroyer having too much overlap, but they fly so differently. So I was really shocked by the Wraith. I've thrown discs that are Wraith-like, but this one is really, really cool. It is the Champion Wraith, not quite as overstable as I was expecting it to be. It definitely has some fade, but it has amazing glide, and it will hold straighter for longer than I was expecting. And so the Wraith is a really cool disc, easy to manipulate. And what's really cool is I threw it on a couple variations of anhyzer, some super steep annies and some more shallow annies. And on the super steep ones, it doesn't quite have the stability to really fight out of it, especially if there's a little bit of a wind that's helping your anhyzer. But if you throw with a little more shallow anhyzer, it really helps you get the maximum distance out of the throw. So the Innova Wraith was really, really cool, and of the three, it was my favorite to throw. It felt the most comfortable in the hand with the rim width and just the perfect amount of dome for the forehand. And we're talking about the Innova Destroyer. This disc has been a fan favorite, pro favorite for years and years and years since it came out about a decade and a half ago. And this disc is phenomenal. It does everything you want an overstable distance driver to do, and because of that, because it gets that nice little turn, whether it's in the headwind or as you start to season it, you're going to be able to layer this disc really, really well. Although you may not be able to use it as an understable distance driver one day, unless of course you have like 500-600 feet of power, you will be able to really layer some destroyers to get varying stabilities, and with different runs, you'll be able to really capitalize on the mold if it's one of your favorites. It is certainly overstable. You can always count on it to fade, and I really enjoyed throwing it. It was way more comfortable in the hand than I was expecting, but the rim was definitely a little too wide for my liking. But overall, the Destroyer was a really cool disc, and I'm really happy with this lineup. Now, in the beginning, I said what my favorite disc was going to be would probably surprise you, and I've already told you it is the Innova Wraith. I expect most people to favor the Hades or the Destroyer in this category. And so that being said, if you haven't checked out a Wraith, you definitely want to do that. Now, if you want to try any of these discs, or if you want to grow your collection of Hades, Wraiths, and Destroyers, go ahead and head to otbdiscs.com right now and get a couple of them. They have some amazing plastics, stamps, the whole collection. You can find everything you want on otbdiscs.com. So go ahead and check it out. Thank you so much to Danny and the gang over there for supporting this series. And just in case you're unsure, you can go ahead and check out all the other videos we've done for fairway drivers, mid-ranges, and putt and approach discs. You can find all 12 of the discs in the Gladiator Disc Golf subscriber bag on otbdiscs.com. So go ahead, head over there, check them out, and buy some discs today. Until next time, everyone, have a great round.